Went to the record label. They were like, this song was written from God's perspective. You know, that's where the question came from. Is there anything you would like to say? And I feel like I wrote down what I thought he was wanting to say. Went to the record label. They were like, you can't use this song because you're writing it as if God's talking. And I was like, oh. They said radio will never play it. I was like, radio doesn't play us anyway. That's a strange thing for you to say to me. I thought you were trying to talk me into something. He goes, radio will never play it. I go, they don't play it anyway. He goes, yeah, but we want them to play it. He goes, that's what I do. That's my job, is to try to get, you know, move things around a little bit to get it to where they will play it. And I was like, I promise you, I'll give you something that they can play. Just not this one. I was like, let me just have this one, if you don't mind. He's like, okay. So God did a Jedi mind trick on all the program directors across the country, and this song became our first #1 Christian CHR's hit, all right? Because contrary to popular belief, God is a Star Wars fan. He is the OG of the Jedi mind trick. Anyway. So, after this, a few months later, we play a show in Colorado. This girl walks up to me, and you know, you don't want to judge people, but you do. And I judged this person. She looked, you know, like a popular kid. She looked like, you know, probably she's on a homecoming court type of kid, you know, popular kid. And walked up to me and she said, "Can I tell you my story?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "I tried to commit suicide 2 weeks ago." I was like, in my mind, I didn't say this out loud. I was like, really? Like, why? But I didn't say that. I was just like, honestly, I was a little bit floored by the comment, because at this point in my life, I never heard people say that very much. And so I was standing in front of somebody who was telling me that 2 weeks ago they almost weren't here anymore. And I could feel my heart rate going up, you know, pupils dilating, not dilating, whichever way they go when that thing happens. I don't know. They go, oh, I don't know, whatever. But I could feel like, you know, just heightened sense of awareness. She's saying this, and I said, what happened? She said, well, I wrote a goodbye letter. I was like, God. So I wrote a goodbye letter. I was telling my family goodbye. I was telling my friends goodbye, and signed it. She said, at the end of this letter, she said, I decided to pray. She said, I've never prayed before. Never prayed at all, ever before. And it was like, God, if you're real, and if you love me, and if you see all the things that's been done to me, and somehow still love me, and if you see all the things that I've done to others, and somehow you still love me, then I want to hear you say it. I don't want to read it on a page. I want to hear you say it. Dude, I had tears streaming down my face. She was crying. I was crying. I was like, there's just so much pain and desperation in her story. I was like, that is I literally said this. I said, that is the boldest prayer I've ever heard in my entire life. I've never heard a prayer bolder than that. I said, what happened? She said, I finished the prayer, and she said, for whatever reason, she said, I don't know why, I just literally reached in arm's reach and turned on the radio. And she said, and when I turned on the radio, the words that came out of the speakers were, I'm the one that you have been looking for. And I'm the one that you have been waiting for. And I have had my eyes on you since the day that you were born. And I love you when the rain is falling down in your life. And I will love you when the sun goes down for the last time. I will love you after this world is no more. She said, I asked him to say the words, and he answered me immediately. And she said, right there, I fell to my knees and I gave my life to Jesus Christ, and I decided to live. I have heard that story 20 different ways, the same thing. I've heard a guy tell me that he was in his truck and he was on his way to take his life, and he turned the radio on and those words came over and he pulled the truck over and gave his life to Jesus Christ and decided to live. And I'm just telling you tonight that sometimes you're praying out of desperation, and there's a reason for everything, ladies and gentlemen. When you're saying, I know I have the words and I need you to speak and I need you to do something, sometimes it's not about you. Do you understand what I'm saying here tonight? And he gets you in the right place to ask the right questions. And I believe that tonight he gave me a gift when he gave us these words that are not mine, they're his. And these words were for that girl in Colorado and that guy driving his truck and for every single one of you here in this room tonight. And if you know this song, I want you to sing the words of God with me tonight. All right, you ready? You break the glass, try to hide your face, recorded lines that just will not erase, and buried in your loss of innocence, you wonder if you'll find it again. Was I there for the worst of all your pain? And was I there when your blue sky ran away? And was I there when the rains were flooding you right off of your feet? Those were my tears falling down for you, falling down for you. You've been looking for, I'm the one that you've been waiting for. I had my eyes on you ever since you were born. I will love you after the rain falls down. I will love you after the sun goes down. I had my eyes on you after the world is no more. Isn't my life a clear sign since I have crossed over this chasm to fill the space between me and you? And I will do it all over again. Just look for me, just wait for me. I'm the one you've been looking for, I'm the one you've been waiting for.